Hey guys, if you're new to my channel, I'm Tish and this is Tish Loves Home. So I did not remember to do an intro before I started this job. So this video, I'm working in two little boys' room. They had a room downstairs and they've been moved upstairs to this kind of like a bonus room. It's above the garage. So there is not a closet in it and they've just kind of gotten started with it. So they have some organizational things already in place, but after I worked in it this day, I was able to speak with this client and we kind of discussed like steps going forward of what I thought they could use and what might be helpful for them to kind of keep up with their stuff a little bit better. And they still need to do some decluttering. So we did talk about that as well. This was a very fun job for me. I just got up there and got started, and as I was working, I was getting some ideas, and I'll share those along with you as I go. So let's just hop right on into this video. So here is the room. As you can see, they have the bunk beds, and then they do have this organizational unit. And some of these things that they have in here now are not going to stay. The end tables beside the couch are not staying. And then this brown unit, I don't know, TV stand, it's also going. And I know that this probably, looks overwhelming, but really when you have a space like this, and y'all, I've seen a lot of spaces like this, let's be honest. I think a lot of people have places like this in their house, and then you go in it and you're like, where do I start? Well, I started by just kind of getting all the trash up first. That's usually a really good place to start because you can find you know, things sitting around that probably doesn't need to be there that can be thrown away. So I always like to start with that. And I do not like things on the floor. And you're probably thinking, well, there's a lot on the floor. And you're right. There is a lot on the floor. So I really just try to focus on getting all the trash up first and kind of getting my bearings in the space as to just kind of what I thought I was going to put in each section. And I do find myself sometimes when I'm working on a space like this, and I know that we probably all do this, but I'll kind of get started in one space and then something else will catch my eye and I'll go over to the next space. So I did do some of that, but before I really got into like working on the clothes and the dress up things, I really was just trying to group some like things that I found and put it in these bins and kind of set that in the center of the room so that as I was finding things and picking things up off the floor, I could at least kind of get it started with an initial sort. Now, I didn't do any what I would call micro sorting at this point because there's just too much to get done in the amount of time that I had to do that. And I do hope that they will do some decluttering so that when we get ready to really fine tune things and put labels on these bins, we're down to only the things that they are actually playing with. And I don't think it's good just to go in and start organizing a space before you declutter. That's a big part of the process. I don't want to organize things in my house or anybody else's house that really don't need to be in there to start with. You know what I mean? Just kind of getting rid of things and then you're only left with the things that you really want to use. Kind of after I kind of worked my way around the room and, got some things started, I did go ahead and go over to the little dresser that's in there and I kind of started grouping some of those clothing items. And, as I'm working, I'm always kind of thinking about what's going to work best in that space. What else do I think they need? What can we rearrange? And I did do a little bit of rearranging on this day, not a whole lot, but I did some, but with more ideas to come as I went. And sometimes you really do just kind of have to get in a space and just start somewhere. And once you get started, usually the ideas start to come and you can kind of narrow your focus a little bit better about, the details of what you need to do. And I know people are embarrassed sometimes to ask for help when you're in a situation like this, but don't be. Because, I would bet that just think about the houses that you pass by. How many people are probably in the same situation that you are? Probably a lot more than you think. And honestly, I'm really not going in with a judgmental eye. People probably don't believe that all the time, but I'm not. When I see a space like this, I just immediately want to let's get going. And that's kind of how I felt when I saw it. I was just like itching to get started because I knew I could make it better for where we are right now. So even if you don't hire somebody to do it, you know, doing it yourself, you just have to start somewhere. Now, a lot of people will ask, well, how much does something like this cost? In this space, I didn't bring any products or anything like that. This was just an initial visit just to get going. And I did give her some ideas of things that she could get. But I keep my pricing very simple. Been doing this for about 5 years now, and we tried lots of different ways when we first started. But I've just found for me and my clients, it's just easier just to do a flat rate. So I worked in here for about 4 hours, and I charge from 3 to 4 hours. Anywhere in that time period is $150. I really think that's a bargain because I worked solid. I didn't take any breaks. It was just nonstop. Um, and that way, when you go into an area and you tell somebody this is what your price is going to be. Now, if they want me to do more and come back, then, we'll readjust that and we can add or make changes. But for my standard work day, when I'm doing something like this, like I said, I just do try to go between 3 to 4 hours and $150 for that. I'm going to do an update here to kind of show you where I am. So basically, I've gotten everything kind of off of the floor for the most part. There are some things down there in the stairs that I've got to bring up here. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and bring that up while I'm still in the sorting process. And then that way, I can kind of make sure I have everything that I've got to sort. What my plans are for today, because, I don't know how long all this is going to take me. I am going to get the clothes sorted. The books, I'm going to pull out baby books for the little baby that they have downstairs and keep the older books up here. I'm going to do big, broad categories because let's be real, kids are not going to do like fine-tuned categories. I'm going to get these bins back over here in orderly, and then I'm going to do some cleaning up in these sections and try to do a few things to kind of rearrange it and make it more functional. But let's go ahead and bring the stuff up that's down in the stairs. All right, guys, I am going to, look at me, already sweating. I'm going to go ahead and work in a few areas, and then I'll give you an update as I finish. I know it kind of probably looks a little overwhelming right now, but I'm already starting to see it, so we're going to get there. I'll see you in a few minutes with some updates. My next line of business, I'm just going to kind of straighten this up. This is going to be a temporary solution, and when I get home tonight, I'm going to look for links to send her to give her some ideas. But I'm going to get this straightened up just for a little bit, and then we're going to start working on decluttering books, and then we'll start getting everything else in a spot. I'm going to clean everything off of that and these because those pieces are going. My wheels are turning. I am going to try to make this section be like books and possibly some of these dress-up cubes that I've been working on. And this over here for now, I moved these two over here in this corner. I just felt like it might be better just to kind of keep both of these together. This can be pulled out when they want to play with it. And they'll probably be outgrowing this soon, I have a feeling. And I like that right there in that corner for now. But remember, we're going to need another piece over here. But I'm going to play around over here with these books and just see what I can come up with. So let me show you where we are after day one. I have a lot of ideas for this space, but we got a really good start up here today. This piece is going. So, like I said, I think my idea is to shift this down. Dresser, chest of drawers, shoe area. Maybe some big baskets for some of this stuff so we can hide it a little bit better. This will be out. This table's going to be out also. So we'll have a little bit more space over there to work with, and this one. And then again over here we need chester drawers, shoe rack, and I also think we could use some hooks. There's a lot of things that we could hang, so I think some hooks would also be a really good idea, and an ottoman with storage so we could throw like stuffed animals, whatever in it, because you know boys are going to need a place just to throw things. So kind of got them started in their little areas, and they can pick out what they want to go there, and then we can decorate it a little bit more. But a lot done. I'm happy with what we accomplished today, and I'm looking forward to what it can be in the future.
They say the whole world is watered down, and this town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day, we make the mundane our masterpiece. Oh my, love. I take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down till we're dead and buried on the edge of the